Alright, here we go. I think we're recording. PictureRoom session number 3. We're going to be going over some more pictures from Brooklyn with my friend Trent from, gosh, when was this? January of this year, so a few months ago. And just like the other couple videos that you can go back and watch, I'm going to be showing some examples of how my little preset here works that you're able to download. I'll have a link down below. You can download it for free. You can donate. If you choose to donate $5 or more and leave a review, I will mail you a free print of mine, a little 5x7 print of just like a random, not a random photo, but just like a select photo of mine that I'll send to you in the mail. So it's a win-win, I think. And I appreciate those that have downloaded it so far. It's really cool. And I'm just going to keep doing these. I find it really fun. Hopefully you guys download it, try it for yourself, learn a thing or two with me along the way on, how I edit my own work, and maybe you can apply it to your own. So we're just going to get started here. So and before I even start, I actually updated the preset in the link, in the Gumroad link in the description below. It's not much different. I just did like a slight little tweak. So if you downloaded it already, you can go back, download the new one. Slight adjustments, nothing crazy, but yeah, just check it out. So yeah, we're just gonna get started. I'm gonna go through here, and then I'm also gonna do something at the end. I'm gonna show an example about how you can use the grain emulator in Dehancer. It works really well. The grain in Lightroom, I fucking hate it. It does not work well. Dehancer works a lot better for that. But I'll show you at the very end as a little extra. I'm going to try to go through these quick this time. I'm sure I'm talking for like 5 minutes right now already. But so this is the preset here. You're going to have to do some adjusting. I usually do exposure adjustments. I hit the J key to turn on my clipping. It usually helps just like evaluate the blacks and the highlights a bit. I do those first, just personal preference, and then just kind of adjust accordingly. And then white balance, I go in last here, kind of tweak by eye, and then I also changed the background color. Usually helps. And before, after, and like honestly, like that's kind of done. Little trick I do, not trick, but thing that I like to do is to view it on the print module, see it as like a print. And yeah, that looks pretty done to me. I'll probably go in longer and make some other tweaks because it's important to kind of walk away. And it also helps to have like a calibrated monitor like this. I'm using a MacBook Pro 14-inch, but I've noticed, and what I've read on some forums, is that the calibration on these, even though you may be using the the photography setting here, if you do set that, it's not as accurate if you were to just calibrate it with like a Spider X Pro, which is what I have, and then go through that whole process. It's way better because I know for certain, because I print my work, and I noticed when I updated that, I stopped using this photography preset that comes with the laptop, and I used my calibration thing with the Spider. A lot better. But anyways, yeah, that looks good. Let's check the clipping one more time. Cool. Yeah, that looks interesting enough to me. Maybe warm it up a bit. I'll probably bring down the exposure. I like to have things a little bit brighter. That's just my style. Again, it's just, dependent on the image, of course, but what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to copy these because all these were from the same day, and just kind of paste it and then see what happens here. So a little bit warm, maybe cool it off a bit. And I mentioned it in another video, I'm sure I'll keep mentioning it in other ones, is that getting good with the temperature and the tint sliders, you can you can do a lot to a photograph just using those two. Just a little mention of that. Alright, what we got here? So before, after, probably bring it down a touch. I'm not sure if anyone else does any of this stuff in Photoshop using the generative fill function to get rid of like elements that you don't want. And like some people may criticize that you're actually like, you're ruining the photo by omitting or removing parts of a photograph that were originally there. But honestly, like, if they haven't seen the photo before, it honestly doesn't make a difference. Because sometimes removing distracting elements in the photo just makes your photo just 20% better. And I'll show you an example of this. So I just like the gesture, and not the gesture, but the positioning of this guy in between these little things here. This was, oh, I should mention, I shot all of these on a, was this the Q? Hang on. I honestly can't remember if this was the Leica Q or the M262. I want to say that this was the Leica Q, I think. I'm going to just say that for now. But, yeah, to give an example of what I'm talking about for using the generative fill in Lightroom. Hang on, let me just make sure I get this at a good point. I would definitely walk away at some of these and come back and re-edit these, but so, you know, white, before, after. Again, you can download this preset in a link below. Edit in Photoshop. All right. Zoom in here. And then I want to get rid of these guys. This is rather distracting to me. So what I'll do, just make a quick little selection like this with the little lasso tool. Right click, generative fill, hit enter. It'll do its thing. It takes like, you know, probably 10 seconds. And just like, I don't know, just watch what happens. Oh, what the fuck? Hang on, let's see what our options are. All right, there we go. See, then if it doesn't do the thing, it has variations. And yeah, dude, it works wonders. So, like, that's, you know, that's all you got to do. And then you just click save, go back. It should appear. There it is, and it's just so much better. And then what I would do is I would just crop this to, I don't know, maybe 4:3. I do like this van in here for some reason. I would probably remove university in there too, but, and then there you go. That looks good to me, you know? All right, we're gonna move on here. We're gonna paste those settings from the last one, and then damn, I'm done on that. That's pretty nice, you know? Make it a little darker. Maybe just a touch more, add a bit more mood. But it really just, you know, maybe some warmth. Put on a print, see what it looks like. And, looks good to me, you know? Pretty quick. All right, we're gonna go through these quick this time. I realized the last one, I kind of drag it out quite a bit. All right, this is a little warm. We're gonna adjust here. Let's put on white. And sometimes it helps to go through like the extremes to kind of narrow down if you're not sure. Nothing wrong with that, you know. You gotta find your way. You gotta find where the picture wants to live. The pictures always want to live in a particular spot, and you gotta find what makes it happiest, or something like that. All right, clipping. Hit the J key. It's okay if some things are clipping, and boom. There you go. I like this photo because I like their purses. I like just this bus and wall in front of them. Like, I don't know. It's kind of funny. Maybe, let's see, maybe a bit more magenta. What happens if we just kind of cool it off a bit? Maybe up the contrast a bit. Put it on white. Yeah, there you go. Before, after, you know, it's a little brighter. I like that look. All right, let's go to this one. Let's just, you know, go over and just pop it on this random photo here. This was, Trent. You're gonna have to remind me the name of this place. It's blanking on me. Let's see. Put on the clipping. See where our blacks are. This one can come down quite a bit. Whites, probably about there. Shadows, probably bump that up. Contrast, and then probably cool it off a bit. Maybe bring the greens in a bit. And sometimes when you use these on particular photos, it may take some additional time to fiddle around with getting it how you want. Because the preset's not perfect. It's not going to be perfect for every photo that you're going to use. But it definitely gives a good base layer. I mean, for my work anyways. And, you know, it gives you, you know, basic color adjustments that'll get you there. I don't have anything on the color grading. I messed around with having another one, using one of these before. I may share later on if you guys want to see that, but I'm still kind of finishing up on that. But yeah, this one looks pretty much done. I love this like weird reflection thing with the handrail. And then yeah, put it on a print, see how this looks. Yeah, it looks interesting. Maybe bump up exposure just a touch, maybe the contrast. I always put the contrast down just so it's like a little bit softer, but it retains some darkness and stuffs. But yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, let's move on to this one. Let's paste what we've had from the other photo here. So okay, this needs some TLC. I mean, all the photos that you put these on are gonna need some TLC, you know. But that's okay. It takes not that much time. And honestly, you can spend as much time as you like editing your work. No one has a right way or a wrong way to do these. You know, just as long as you're having fun and you're optimizing yourself so you're not working too long on a photo. But it's fun to learn how certain parameters work in tandem with one another and see how one preset works so then you can make your own. This is my friend Trent right here. Love this smoke here and how it's dividing these two girls. Pretty cool. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm always keeping an eye on the histogram. This clipping's coming from the sky, but you know, sometimes I don't. It doesn't bother me. It's whatever. Let's put it on black. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Looks good to me. A little bright. That's okay. Let's copy these. Move on to the next one. All right. A little bright. A little cool. Put it on white. Put the clipping on. See how low we can go here. Where's the whites? Let's see. About right there. What do you say? I think the whites can maybe come down a bit because I'm looking at this newspaper here. I missed the focus a bit on this one, but you know, like, that's okay. That's okay. Now I realize that this was the M262 because it's all manual focus, the M262 with the lenses. And, you know, I think it's best sometimes to not have photos exactly in focus. It kind of just gives a better... I don't know what I'm trying to say, but there's nothing wrong with being out of focus. I do like the newspaper here and the cane and the movement of the lines with these two guys. You can see their heads, but you can't see this guy's head, and he's holding the cigarette. I don't know. I always try to see my work as if I'm looking at someone else's work. I don't know if that's weird or... I'm just kind of sharing my thoughts. And honestly, that's it. You know, the preset works pretty well. It gets you there. So let's kind of go through these, see how we feel. And this was the one with the people, and then this is it removed. So yeah, it just makes it so much better, less distracting. This one, that one, this one could probably be a bit more cool. So this is why it's good to go back and like reevaluate, because your eyes adjust when you look at other photos. Probably bring it down just one more. Look on the print. Maybe bring it back up just a hair. It's good enough. This one, it's a fun one. You could, you know, go back and fix the crop if you want, so it's more straight. And then this one. All right. And then I wanted to save this last little bit with Dehancer on using the grain. Let's see, what photo do we want to use this with? Well, should we use this one? Let's use this one. So we'll go up tight. We're at 100%. Lightroom grain, go down to effects, grain, and it just kind of puts it uniformly. Even like the highlights here, it's not right. It's not accurate, because usually the highlights on like film grain don't appear like this. And the parameters for the grain, or the controls that you have for the grain in Lightroom, are next to nothing. You can use this. I don't care what you do, but I'm just kind of sharing my thoughts here. What I would do, what I do if I ever want grain in the photos, is that I have a program called Dehancer. So what I do is have it set up here so I can just open it from Lightroom. And maybe I'll make another video where I go over Dehancer and how to edit in it, because it's like a different kind of order that they recommend from their website and other videos. But so let's just go here and just go to the film grain. I'll talk about all these other things later on. But the grain functionality in this Dehancer application is great. So what I'll do is I'll reset it. They have some presets already kind of put in here in the drop down. To get a start, I just pick the 65 ISO 50. So you can just kind of see. I don't know if you can see this in the video, but it's really cool because whenever you add the grain, it helps control the highlight and shadow retention. But if you go in here and go to custom, you can change the amount of grain in here, right? We can even zoom in just like a little bit more so we can kind of see what's going on here. And you have all these extra controls here. You can change the size of the grain. If you double click these, it kind of goes back to its recommended values, which is helpful. I keep the size small. So the amount of grain as well. And you notice your histogram is changing. It's showing like more retention of the highlights, which is cool. So not only does it add grain and texture, but it helps control your highlight and exposure adjustment as well. So let's see here. Let's just kind of leave it at 20 for now. So before or after. This resolution thing is really cool here. So what this does, is kind of what you would expect. It controls the resolution of the image. It's actually degrading. You see how it gets fuzzy? And then if you bring the resolution up, it just brings it back to normal. And this is really cool. It just kind of gives a more analog look to it. So it's not so, like, clinically sharp. Some people are going to want something else in their images. But if you're going for that analog look in your digital files and you're wanting grain as well, this is the vibe. Like, this is the thing that Lightroom doesn't do. I'm trying to find a good example as to where this is. Let's look at the letters here. So that's with it. This is without it. With it, you can change the resolution so it's sharper for the super sharper. And then bring it down all the way down. And it's like, you can have a happy medium where it's like, it kind of degrades it a little bit so it has that vibe that you're going for. And then, it's super handy. I love it. Shadows, you can bump up the shadows here. Let's find some shadow area. Maybe this side panel. Let's take a look. So yeah, you control the grain and the shadows, which is nice. Sometimes I just keep it at the default. Midtones. And you can see how it just kind of adjusts only to that area. Let's find a better midtone. Maybe this windshield. Yeah. So it's super nice. And if we go back up to the highlights, see, and then you pull it back and it's just so much nicer of control. So it's not like a global thing that's happening. So, before, after on this, you gotta zoom in to like 100% to kind of like appreciate what's going on. But if you're so nitpicky about your photos and want this kind of thing for your work, you'll love this. I don't know, it works great. And another thing with the color, some grain, it gives you extra little like color bits, little what's the word, chromatic aberration shit. But this kind of, if you bring it down, it's more like neutral gray, black and white, and then this kind of adds a bit more color. It's hard to see, I'm sure, on the screen, but I just kind of keep it default. And then another extra thing that I find helpful is I keep it on to positive film grain, but if you go back to negative, it kind of brings back more intensity to this. So if I were to go between the two, this typically has like your normal, what you would expect grain, like in Lightroom kind of deal. I mean, you can even just reduce the highlights again on this and you'll get kind of the same kind of thing. But I personally keep it on positive. I like the look of that. I feel like it gives me more control if you want. So yeah, I don't mean to go too long on just one slider. That's why I'm saying Dehancer I can have a whole other video on. But it just kind of ties it in real nice. And it even pulls back some of your highlights. So even if you left your highlights a little bit, blown out before you brought this in, your film grain alone can retain that. So that's pretty cool. So we're going to hit OK. We're going to bring that back into Lightroom. And yeah, that's the DNG. It brings it back in as a TIFF. But yeah, it looks great. I love the sharpening in that. All right, I think that's good for now. I try not to make these too lengthy. Try the preset. You can download it, link below. Again, if you donate $5 or more and you leave a review, I will mail you a free print, a little 5x7 print. Mailed out a few. So again, thank you to everyone that's watching these and listening to me ramble and stuff. Still trying to figure out excuse me, still trying to figure out this channel, what I want it to be exactly, but I enjoy doing these. Hopefully you try out the preset and it works, and any feedback's welcome. And yeah, all right, see ya.